Hellos and welcomes everyone, AnthWolf here with more Pillars of Eternity. After part 26, I should say, it Raedric's hold and the unfortunate events of taking on Lord Raedric and his bodyguards, I set out to do what I said I would do. We have just left the hold itself and we are on our way now to Caed Nua. It's going to take us 1 day and 4 hours to actually journey there. It's one hell of a journey. We're probably going to be fatigued by the time we reach there. But we're going to try and find... was it Maidwin? Let's have a look. Well, it's another keep we've got to enter. Great. We don't need to worry about these. Maerwald, that's what his name was. The spirit of Caldara, one of Lord Raedric's unfortunate victims, has directed me towards Caed Nua, where I found a man called Maerwald. Caldara has informed me that I have become something known as a Watcher, and that Maerwald is a Watcher as well. Perhaps he can tell me more about what's happening. Caed Nua is impressive in size, but little else. The keep is in complete disrepair, but if old Maerwald is still lord of this place, I'm likely to find him within. Oh well, so we have another keep we get to infiltrate now. So this could go horribly wrong, but... Hi! You seem happy. Kana. Just off to the side of the path into Caed Nua stands an imposing figure. A tall, thick-set armorer, clad in worn armour and peering up at the outer walls of the keep. In his hand is a small piece of charcoal, and it works feverishly at taking notes upon a small scrap of paper. More than once he has to reach up to prevent his colourful cap from falling off his head as he gazes upwards. What are you doing over here? The man looks over at you, blinking in surprise. His face splits into a very wide, toothy grin, and he waves the parchment in greeting. Killing time, if I'm honest. I've already walked the perimeter twice. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks just there. Workers and masons, I expect, carving a little immortality for themselves. It's a fine keep, Caed Nua. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long.
But the truly interesting part is in there, and I haven't had much luck in reaching the keep itself. I hoped to find the master of this place, a man by the name of Maerwald. But it seems that he either holds his privacy most dear, or else has been devoured by his house guests.
Why haven't you gone inside then? Well, it's just that there are a great many dangerous creatures between the keep and I. I did make an attempt, of course. I was chased away by dark spirits. Great. What are you wanting from Maerwald?
Knowledge. Or, to be less clever about it, a certain text. I've come in search of a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. It's a sacred text of Rauatai, but we possess only a small fragment of it.
A year. I've journeyed in search of the rest, and I found evidence suggesting that the original lies there, beneath the keep. I want to ask Maerwald if he knows of it. And you? Why are you here? Apparently I'm something called a Watcher, and Maerwald can tell me what that means.
A Watcher? Oh, you've spoken with spirits? There are many questions I would ask if I could do the same.
And because we are also a Ratuai, maybe we can help one another. The grounds are infested with all manner of beasts. I've never seen the like. I didn't want to risk it alone, but 2 sons of Ratuai together. I'm sure we can manage it, and then we can both ask our questions of Maerwald. Sure, let us go meet Maerwald together then.
Excellent. Lead on, my friend, and I will be at your heels. Ah, wait. Speaking of that, I ought to warn you first. Wondrous teeth, I nearly forgot. I have, at times, been followed. It began in Adir, and in Exomatal they attacked outright. I believe they do not wish for me to find what I am looking for.
Exorbital. That's a hell of a way to pronounce that word. Okay, we're going to try and remember that.
I say believe, but I have been told as much by one of my would-be assassins. I paid them little mind. Humorless swords and long robes. But it's why I bought the sword, you see. And it's only fair that you should know.
You seem very calm about this.
Well, it's not as if I'm going to turn around and go home at their urging. If their previous efforts are anything to go by, we have very little to worry about.
Excellent, then. We have a new party member. What the hell is that? Oh!
Yes?
You're a chanter. Interesting. We haven't encountered a chanter yet, actually, in our party. He has 18 intellect. Holy hell. Increases his area of effect by 48% and its duration by 40. Actually, he's really good. His defenses aren't great, but at the same time, he's not going to be in the front lines of my party once again, so that's absolutely fine. I'm guessing then I want to kind of switch him with Alof at the back.
On your word.
So... Oh, I see. Prepared chance. So we got A, B, and C. Fortitude and will. Movement rate and reflex. Can we do B? Oh, okay, we can. We can choose. So the first thing we'll probably want to do... Let's have a full frightening one and one just for movement. Can these only be used in combat? Yeah, I guess they can. Okay. We have chanter spells. They require three phrases being chanted. Reduces damage reduction on enemies in an area. Summons 3 skeletons to fight for the party. Ooh. And the thunder roll like waves on black seas. Creates a thunderous explosion that stuns and shoves enemies in an area. Those sound awesome! Why didn't I get you before? And we have field triage. Allows the healing of a small amount of health on an ally. Oh, we can actually... Okay, this is how you talk to people.
What?
Okay, we actually haven't done this yet. Oh, we have a tutorial thing. Chanters spend most of their time in combat speaking chants. Chants are arranged strings of magical phrases that produce different effects. As one phrase ends, its effects will linger, overlapping the effects of the next phrase. When a chant reaches the end of its final phrase, it will loop back to the beginning. Careful arrangement of phrases can produce powerful sequence of passive effects. Click on a chant to select it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
What are you equipped with, Kana? You have your own turban, +1 intellect. And you're wearing some brigadine. You have an arbicus. Wow, nice. I totally forgot arbicuses are rifles, yeah. And you have a fine two-handed sword. Interesting. But that's fine, you will be fighting at range. Oh well. Quite happy to meet a fellow Omora. And a chanter at that. Interesting. So, actually, before we do anything else, I actually want to...
Yeah.
recast this ability first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the range of Zealous Endurance is not great. I want to speak to my party members just to see what they have to say. So let's save. I hope that old Rocher's still there. It's been years since I've heard anything about him. What did you want to ask the Watcher? Just some things about the past, about the war. I've been thinking I missed my chance to find out all I wanted to know. That old Watcher, though, he opens up some new possibilities. Can we ask about yourself? If you're sure. Do you have any family? Just my parents now. They took a ship back to Eder when the purges started. Wanted me to go with them. And I didn't see things like they did. Been a long time since I've seen them. I really should visit, but for some reason I just haven't felt like leaving home. Good thing they chased me out, or I might have never left. What did you do before this?
Oh, other than the war, I never strayed too far from where you found me. Farming, mostly. I was never much for cities. Never learned a trade. In my younger days, I thought I was going to go preach the word of Aethys. Just in our temple there. My parents encouraged it. I made so much trouble for them growing up. They used to say it'd be best if I got in good with the God of Redemption. Of course, us blowing him up probably didn't help my chances there. But if anybody'd forgive you for blowing him up, it'd be Aethys.
Aethys, the God of Redemption. Yeah, to talk about that, the bomb. I forgot what it was called, a something bomb. But yeah, apparently they blew the reincarnation of Aethys up. Interesting. Could I ask you about something else?
What's on your mind?
I was wondering about him, Aethys, actually.
It makes two of us.
What is there to know about him?
If you're looking to find religion, maybe you want to start with a god that hasn't been burned to dust, but I won't stop you. Aethys, he was a young man with a silver crown. Carried a candle around with him. Sounds like I'm giving a bad eulogy here.
He was a lot of different things to different people, I guess. Rebirth, redemption, light. Out in the country, he's Gorn, the farmer, who helps all things pass, seasons and people both. He watches over the reek, does Gorn. Season balance is made right. You could see why all the copperless rowdies around here might take a liking to someone like that. He was a real popular here for a time. These days you won't find too many worshipping Aethys in the open. It's hard to know who still does it in private and who's given up. Feels like I'm the last one sometimes. If that's the case, he deserves all the mourning. So, I believe, yeah. Do you still worship him?
In my way. I don't suppose he expects me to show up at his temple these days. Not much left to do for him other than keep his memory alive and keep hoping that he's just been playing a joke on all of us these past 15 years.
As far as I know, he hasn't said anything to anyone since the God Hammer detonated. Why worship him then? Well, if it turns out he's not dead and I gave up on him, I'd have betrayed my God twice. Even the God of Redemption's gotta have standards. I'd probably be reborn as a fat or mourner's horse. That's not really it though. Not all of it anyway. Guess it's more that I still believe in the things he believed in. I just hope his death doesn't mean the death of those things as well. Sometimes it looks that way. What made you think Raedric didn't speak for Aethys?
Was his actions. Not when he started his rebellion, not even when he took over Raed Ceres. It was when he sent his armies into Deerwood.
Up to that point he was sticking up for his people. That's what Aethys does, at least the Gorn part of him. Those farmers were starving and their government didn't lift a finger. I figured it wasn't Aethys himself. At least he had the right idea. But then he sent armies across the border. It even crossed himself in the end. Word was he was chasing refugees that escaped the rebellion. Wanted to punish them and punish us for allowing them to live here. That just didn't fit for me. Those are the deeds of a vengeful god, Caed or Wodika, maybe. Or just a man who'd lost his sense. I still have trouble believing it, but there's no one left to ask if it's untrue. Well, thank you. I'll ask you something else.
What's on your mind?
Let's keep moving. So yeah, obviously, if you're not interested in any of the characters' backstories, feel free to skip this part. I should have mentioned that before. But I kind of just want to sit down because I'm interested to hear what they have to say.
How may I help?
Whereas we don't really know who's in our party right now. I didn't realise we could actually speak to them properly. I missed this little icon until we got our chanter here. So yeah, let's get to know everyone. Durant especially, because apparently he does want to speak to us. So, Alof, the aristocratic elf, what do you have to say? How may I be of service? Tell me about Eder. I've been gone for more than a year now, but I suspect I'll always think of the forests and the fields of Eder as my home. We've thousands of years of history and tradition behind us, and there's a sense of dignity and responsibility that comes with that. Of course, there's baggage as well. Our imperial past is still fresh in the minds of many, as you may have noticed here. Has it been difficult to adjust? People here are informal, hot-blooded, more attentive to insult than to duty, but as long as one avoids provocation, it's easy enough to get along. I've gotten accustomed, though, to keeping my thoughts to myself anyway. How long were you in Gildedvale before we met? Not much longer than you. As you saw, it was hardly the haven that had been advertised. Any thoughts on what I should do next? Well, you're in charge, and as far as I'm concerned, any place is better than Gilded Vale. No offence. Looking to Eder. Okay, that's all, thank you. Maybe we'll have something new to say after we've spoken to Mayorwald and learn more about ourselves as the Watcher. Durance, do you have anything to tell us? Thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come to words. We could actually tell him to bugger off. He's the only character we could actually say that to. Interesting. I wonder why. That makes me think why that's an option. But okay, I have questions.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your knuckles on the wrong door.
Why were we supposed to meet? It's why of... Oh, the why of it is your Watcher. A Watcher runs two roads of why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought to your words, I even bothered with you, but now seeking out Watchers is what I do. To put the truth to them, see which of the two ways they bend. What two ways are those? Either you're a dry field in need of a harvest burning, he frowns, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way you can see differently from others. I can tell by the way you notice the staff first off. Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flame, but your eyes. Your eyes trace the path that I could see. Why do I think I'm not going to like your trial, Durance, for some reason? So, which are you then, Durance? A dry field or lost in darkness? His face tenses. The day we don't trade that question back and forth is a day our paths no longer need to be joined, and the trial is done. You're going to put me on trial then? You know this nation is diseased. Don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the roads with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again, new seeds planted in the burned soil. And something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test the truth, you don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me then? Sharing the road, of course. One truth to match another. Matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. When you knock one truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, Why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. Let me ask you something else.
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
Tell me about Magrin. Oh, you know her. You must. She's a many-headed bitch. What is your view on Magrin?
She's a goddess, as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
Although, flame rarely crosses thrice, so perhaps that is the only truth she embraces. Who knows, gods get greedy. When it comes to fire, fire is a god's hunger. That's all I need to discuss. I worry about Durance, I really do, but he is handy to have in our party, so we will ignore the trepidation that I feel.
Yes?
And finally, our Morna friend.
It's good to be on the road again. A wanderlust is nothing rare in the people of Rawatai, but often I think myself alone in loving the land as much as the sea. What shall we see next, I wonder?
Has Rawatai changed much since I left it? The Fahari grow in influence. They've had the Ranga Nui focus our efforts on expanding north and closer all the ports to foreigners from the south. Tekoa at least feels smaller. With the Gate of Great Teeth finished, trade has diminished. Those gleaming rooftops, the silver cliffs, the sea, those at least are the same. The day I boarded the ship, the sunrise was gold upon the water, and I nearly leapt overboard and swam home. How are you holding up? I'm ready as if you are. Tell me about yourself.
What shall I tell? I am Kanarua, born in the royal city of Tekoa, from which rules the Ranga Nui. There. That is a solemn enough start. I am a lore chanter in the college there, or at least a student of lore and a chanter both.
The accent's right, but you don't look like you're from Rautuai. Do I not? I take your meaning. My family is from the Deadfire Archipelago, but I've never seen the islands. My parents travelled from Rautuai many years before I was born. They found more opportunity in Rautuai. My mother took to crafting cannons, aspiring pirate that she is. And my father's work with coral caught the eye of someone important, and then the Ranga Nui himself. The rest followed. What would you like to know? What made you leave the college?
I was on the usual path at first. Theology, the traditions, when the Gate of Great Teeth was completed. It was all my father had hoped for. The greatest commission he had ever received. But it was also a sign that Rawatai was changing, looking inward. Meanwhile, I was neck-deep in the writing of a dozen nations, marveling at all the things that lay beyond our borders.
And in so many of those books and records, I found accounts of ancient Wengrif. The Adrians hold a great hunger for Angrifian relics, and why shouldn't they? It was the civilization from which the Glenfarthans learned to read souls. I decided that my third degree would be in history, and that I would study the Angrifians. They were at the heart of so much discussion abroad, so many discoveries. It drew some mockery. Reed watched Eder draw itself up into several conflicts with the Glenfarthans over these ruins. Tekoa had its own concerns. And soon I found it. A section of the Tanvi Oratoa, in which Adrian translation of ancient Engrifian script, just there, without explanation. It seemed like a gift from the gods. What is the Great Teeth? You made mention of it and your father. much as it sounds. A maze of walls like the teeth of some nautical tower. It sits outside the city and guards the coa from invaders and storms. The storms have always been more trouble. Nuatanri, the angry titans throwing themselves against Ratuai's shores. Invaders, I'm not too sure about, and perhaps I'm like the man who, being dry, throws off his raincoat during a storm. So my mother would have me believe. What would you like to know? I have other questions. There's some things we can't ask you about, but about these people who are after you. Oh, them, yes. I ran into them in Eder, or rather they sought me out. In Eder there are many people who had observed the Engrithian ruins in the drywood, and I spent some time conferring with experts. In the libraries I found accounts of sites in Examital, and it was there I travelled next. But just before I found myself approached by a woman in dark robes who bade me abandon my studies for my own safety. I ignored her, of course, but I began to have the sense that after that of being followed, and after that one ambush on the road I could call misfortune, but free. Who are these people? I thought it only fair to delve into their activities in turn. I found word of a leaden key, but past that is all the ravings and superstitions. I might as well have gone around asking whether someone had ever seen a whale flying through the air. Some might well tell me yes, but the validity of their accounts is questionable. Okay, thank you. Other questions? So about the sacred book you're looking for.
The Tanvi Orator. It's not really a book. It's been passed down over the years in the form of a chant. I actually found it a little strange at first, seeing it set down in stone. It's not quite the same as a song of worship, though we have paeans to the gods as well. More a kind of moral guide. It gives us something to aspire to. The, model of a virtuous citizen of Rauatai.
Why look for it out here?
There have been arguments as to the chant's true interpretation. New translations even. But any rendition of it I find in the ruins of Engwith will predate those translations by 2,000 years. And finding it here also proves that we still have much to gain from trading with other cultures. I'd be lying if I said I'm not looking forward to seeing the look on everyone's faces when I get back. But in the long term, I just think that we can learn a lot from the Engwithians. A civilization like that is something to aspire to. A model for Rauatai as a whole, and not just its people. And I want to prove that all of this is worthwhile. Traveling, seeing the world for what it is. It's been so different from sitting in the Chanter Hall and studying books.
So, describe this virtuous citizen.
Dutiful, learned, honest. The sticking point is loyal. Loyal to the people of Rauatai above all others. Fearless in their defense, and bold in aspiration. Tireless in battle or industry. An inspiration to one's people. But it seems it's not that far a leap from there to the idea that we must cast out foreign influences.
And is that what you aspire to be then?
Doesn't everyone want to be a good citizen?
Apparently not, but okay. Let's get going now. Whew. A lot of information to take in. I probably haven't taken a lot of that in. I've probably forgotten half of it already. So hopefully someone might keep track for me. If not, I no doubt will find it in hindsight when it comes back to bite me in the butt. When we say get ambushed for someone after Kana here. What I will do is I will end this video here before we continue exploring Caed Nua. I say we need to still find Merwald, and he's probably through this opening here. I'm guessing this is an opening at least.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very once more through the gates, with more success this time, I hope.
That was Kana there. Actually, let's have one last look. Obviously, Kana has abilities, but what is his he has 9 lore. Wow. What level are you? Oh, you're level 4. Your experience is near enough what mine is. You have 9 lore. Impressive. And you have another ability of Ancient Memory. Invokes a primal energy, causing allies within range to benefit from constant endurance regeneration while a chanter is chanting. Cool. So I will end this video here. As I say, we will explore Caed Nua in the next episode. We'll probably follow this path north first to see where it leads, and if not, we will actually directly go through the keep's entrance here. So this of course has been AnthWolf, and this has been Pillars of Eternity. And hopefully things will look up from the previous video where we got our ass handed to us a couple of times. So yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye bye now.